We start with a big announcement in the sporting world, as Saudi Arabia is set to host the 2034 Men's World Cup. This announcement was no surprise. Going to FIFA's meeting this week, that soccer global governing body Saudi Arabia was the only contributing to host for that year. And there was also only one bid for the 2030 games, with Spain, Portugal, and Morocco together getting their chance to host in 6 years. Saudi Arabia for years has been investing in sports as part of a project called Saudi Vision 2030, spending billions on changing the landscape of sports like golf, boxing, esports, and Formula One in recent years, even buying the famous English Premier League team Newcastle United. The project has been spearheaded by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and aims to diversify the nation's economy to make Saudi Arabia one of the world's leading countries. But the decision comes at the number of human rights groups warn of issues in the Gulf nation, including the abuse of migrant workers, freedom of speech, and the rights of minority groups like the LGBTQ plus community. CNN's Amanda Davis gives us more background on what went to FIFA's decision and shows us what challenges may lie ahead of the 2034 games. To FIFA to host the 2034 World Cup, Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia and Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman have made no secret for the desire to become the world's sporting destination of choice. Now it's set to host the biggest prize of them all, the FIFA World Cup. Qatar is the most controversial awarding of the tournament since that infamous day in December 2010 that saw Russia and Qatar given the nod for 2018 and 2022 amidst the corruption scandals and human rights concerns. Do you think FIFA learned any lessons, Steve, good or bad, from the Qatar experience? My fear is that the lesson they learned from Qatar is that they can ride out the criticism. Yes. So in Qatar, there were unprecedented level constructions of stadiums and infrastructure. In Saudi Arabia, meanwhile, has pledged to build 11 new purpose-built venues. It was seen as a landmark moment in 2017 when FIFA became the first global sports body to write human rights commitment into the bidding process for its major events. But nearly 8 years on, actions are speaking louder than words. I think no organization, human rights organization, has been consulted, and I will even add on that Saudi Arabia has been forbidding human rights organizations from entering the country since Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman came to power. Lina Haslo is a Saudi human rights activist. Hers is one of the 11 organizations that recently raised concerns about FIFA's approach to Saudi's World Cup bid. 10-second trivia. Arachibuti provia is a fear of what food sticking in the roof of your mouth. Cheese, peanut butter, bread, or caramel. Answer is peanut butter, the word coming from the Great War of Iraqi for ground nut, and butter meaning butter, and of course phobia for fear. Now to a major shakeup in the business world as grocery chain Albertsons goes on with $29 billion merger with Kroger. This comes one day after a federal court in Oregon all but halted the mega merger, ruling that the deal will limit competition and harm consumers. Kroger's proposed deal with Albertsons was announced in 2022. If approved, it will have been the largest merger in U.S. supermarket history, combining two of the greatest chains in the country. This would include dozens of other chains that the companies own, like Safeway, Vons, Harris Teeter, and Fred Meyer. Most of the workplaces at Kroger where our sons are on phone so a goal of the merger was to be more competitive against non-union giants like Walmart, Amazon, and Costco. But high grocery prices played a big role here, and the judge ruled that the merger would eliminate the competition between Albertsons and Kroger that kept prices down, potentially raising prices for consumers. Now, Albertsons is suing Kroger for a breach for its contract agreement, saying that Kroger failed to make its best efforts to secure regulatory approval for the merger. We will let you know what Kroger has to say if the commitment on termination of the deal or the suit. Today's target 10 out of 10 is $28 million pair of shoes. Anonymous bidders sent a $28 million on the ruby slippers on the legendary movie, The Wizard of Oz. Some iconic cakes are worn by the one and only Joey Garland. The price kept going up and up, but the bidder was like, "I'll get you my pretties." The bid set a new record for the most money ever spent in an auction of a piece of movie memorabilia. The dazzling slippers were one of only 4 surviving pairs, and they were actually stolen from the Judy Garland Museum in Minnesota in 2005 before they finally found their way back in 2018.